Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Esther Basing. We begin with latest on the aftermath of the killing of 86 persons in Plateau State, North Central Nigeria. The leaders of Nigeria's National Assembly on Wednesday held a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting comes less than 24 hours after the president also held his own meeting with stakeholders in the state. Now, speaking after the meeting, Senate President Bukola Saraki said the talks focused on Buhari's visit to Plateau and what is being done to solve the insecurity issues.
Father of a nation expressed how such a terrible situation and steps that are being taken to restore sanity, to breathe confidence to the nation is of great concern to him and to all of us, to see how what can be done with NEMA, the security agencies and all that. And we've received that and started with the briefing, and we'll continue to all work towards it. Nobody is happy with it. He is not, neither of us are, and we'll ensure that we all come together collectively to see that we restore sanity, and of course commiserate with all the families that he's come back. It's our intention to also go and pay our own condolence visit to the people of Plateau. And general appeal at the end of the day is that we must live together in peace and harmony to all Nigerians, and we'll continue to do our best to see that this kind of thing does not happen again.
On his part, the Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, said the President has announced his intention to reorganize the security structure. Now, he also advised residents of the troubled state to step up their vigilance.
These are very, very somber moments for most of us, situation where people in hundreds are killed, and we cannot continue to tolerate this as government, because whatever it is, we mustn't lose the fight against violence, because we can't lose that fight and still keep our civilization. You go to the northeast, you can see the level of devastation caused by Boko Haram. Everything resembling progress, from school to hospitals to government institutions, everything has been pulled down. And we don't want a replication of this all over the country. And the president has taken in all states. These are security issues. They're not matters that you can discuss, but he's told us what he's doing and the reorganization that he plans to put in place to ensure that this don't happen. And my advice to our people, not just Plateau State, it's virtually everywhere, in Benue, in Kaduna, in Zamfara, so many communities in this country are faced with this situation, especially in the north. I think the issue of securing our communities, living peacefully, must be taken as a project that each and every one of us must invest in.
Still on the Plateau killing, some aggrieved youth who came out in hundreds have taken to the streets in Jos, the Plateau State capital, protesting killings of over 200 people in 3 local government areas of the state. The protesters took their protest to Government House Rayfield to present their grievances to the governor. The protest later resulted bloody when protesters took over the gates of the government house, which led to violence and gunshots inside the government house. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army have now arrested some of the suspected gunmen. In other news, a federal high court in Abuja has rejected an application for bail made by convicted former governor of Taraba State, Reverend Jolly Nyame. Nyame, who was convicted and sentenced to 14 years imprisonment for corruption, approached the same court with the post-conviction bail application on the basis of ill health. However, the trial judge, Justice Adebukola Banjoko, rejected the bail application. The judge held that nothing was placed before the court by Nyame to show that the prison's authority do not have the facility to take care of his health. Moving on, Adams Oshimale has officially taken over as the new national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress. The former governor of Edo State officially took over the leadership of the party from John Odige Onyegun at a brief handover ceremony at the party secretariat in Abuja. Oshimale assured members that he would work to unify the party and make it stronger.
Chairman, God bless you.
It is a new era in the ruling All Progressive Congress as the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, officially takes over as the new national chairman of the party. Incidentally, he is taking over from a man who is also a former governor of this state he once governed. John Odige Oyegun has been the chairman of the APC since it was formed until now.
It is my hope, it is my expectation, it is my prayer that yours will be the most distinguished and successful project. My duty today is brief and short, and that is to introduce you basically to what is now your property, your headquarters, your building, and your office, and to go through the formality of a handover.
In response, Oshomole gave the assurance that his leadership will be an all-inclusive one that will focus on uniting the various factions within the party.
We can't be a general purpose vehicle. We must move beyond that. There will be time to discuss more, but I thought this is important because I wanted to say it that day, that this leadership must look at the records. If something has started, we will build on it. If not, we will start to build an institute so that our cadre will be encouraged to internalize the values of progressive politics for the good of our country and for the strength of our party. Thank you and God bless you.
The new national women leader, Ajia Salamatu, pledged to maintain a campaign promise of promoting women inclusion in politics.
We are going to work under a theme, no woman left behind. Okay. Yeah, and that is all about inclusiveness and getting them recognized and getting them committed. So no woman left behind. If you talk about Ajia Salamatu Bewa, the theme is no woman left behind. And that speaks volumes. By the time we start unfolding our strategies, you will see what we mean by no woman left behind.
Oshomole's executive now faces the challenging task of reconciling aggrieved members of the ruling party ahead of the crucial 2019 general elections. Adeshawa Odoshoga, TV360 Lagos, Nigeria.
And now the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, has expressed worry about the low rate of collection of the newly printed PVCs of new registrants across the country. The INEC boss said it is worrisome that over 7 million PVCs from the 2015 general election are yet to be claimed, but more worrisome is the rate at which newly registered voters are coming to claim the newly printed PVCs. On the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, Yakubu said 9.7 million Nigerians had so far registered and the numbers would increase. He said if the figures was added to the existing 69.7 million registered voters, INEC would have a register of over 18 million in the 2019 general election. Staffers of the National Board of Technology Incubation, NBTI, are demanding the removal of the Director General of the board, Mohammed Jibrin. The NBTI branch, under the umbrella of Academic Staff Union of Research Institutes, has commenced a 3-day warning strike to protest the reappointment of Jibrin as the Director General. They have held a peaceful march in Abuja to drive home their demands.
I agree because
the
same DG who has served for 4 years and has not performed, despite promising he will do this, he will do that, and he has not performed. And then they reappointed him. How can you reappoint somebody who has not performed? I wonder, and that's why the message they were sending to our dear president. We know that the president is one that approved it, but perhaps it was not rightly advised. It was not properly advised because the president worked based on the advice of the people around him. It was not properly briefed and advised, and they made the appointment. So we are pleading that you should kindly reverse it.
We are a country of over 180 million people. There are professors in the universities. There are Nigerians outside of this country who are good. They know all these things about incubation. So Mr. President should look into it. We are appealing to him to look into it. Liars with people that are concerned, people who know how incubation operates in other countries, so that he can rescue National Board for Technology Incubation, so that incubation program in Nigeria can benefit Nigerians, because the essence is to create jobs for Nigerians who are jobless, Nigerians who have ideas of so many things that can be.
The Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Ishak Oloyede, has confirmed that 414,696 candidates out of the 1,603,181 who sat for the 2018 Unified Matriculation Examination scored above 200. Now, according to the Registrar, the figure translates to only 25.09% of the population of the candidate. Oloyede said that 558,673 candidates scored above 190, with 739,490 scoring above 180, while 956,937 candidates scored above 170 marks. The registrar made this known on Tuesday during the policy meeting held at the newly inaugurated Bola Babalakin Auditorium in Bugon, Osun State. In 2017, 465,025 candidates, which equals 27% of the total population, scored above 200. Oh, you're still watching news now. Up next is Fidelia with news in the world of business. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
Oh, correct, Oga.
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuzabi this so. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They will come out the original parts, sell them, make plenty kusa.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do am, frog jump. One, frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Hello, welcome to News and Business. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Nigeria plans to raise $2.8 billion of debt offshore as part of its 2018 budget and will explore all options to lower cost. The head of the Debt Management Office says the government has laid out plans to borrow abroad, even though interest rates are rising in the U.S., which means the country might have to pay a higher premium on this occasion compared with its most recent debt sale in February. Nigeria, which left recession last year, approved a 3-year plan in 2016 to borrow more abroad so that 40% of its loans would come from offshore to lower borrowing costs. It now has around 23% of its debt abroad, up by 16% when it approved the plan. In the power sector, the Transmission Company of Nigeria says it has raised 565.2 billion naira to achieve 20,000 megawatts in the next 4 years. Usman Mohammed, managing director of the company, disclosed this in Abuja at a workshop with stakeholders in the electricity industry. He said the fund was sourced from the World Bank, Japan International Cooperation Agency, African Development Bank, French Development Agency, and other international financiers for its transmission rehabilitation and expansion program TREP. The TREP, according to him, was initiated and approved by the federal government to enable the TCN steadily grow, stabilize, and modernize Nigeria's transmission network so it can take more electricity from the generation companies to distribution networks. In the oil market, prices rose on Wednesday as a supply disruption in Canada tightened the market and after U.S. officials told importers to stop buying Iranian crude from November. Brent crude futures climbed 61 cents to close at $76.92 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were at $70.88 a barrel. The United States demanded all countries stop imports of Iranian oil from November, a State Department official said on Tuesday. Oil markets did not react more strongly to Washington's pressure as the move was expected. Recording a 0.06% decline in the all-share index, the Nigeria Stock Exchange closed Wednesday's trading session in the reds, with the market capitalization at 13.752 trillion naira and the all-share index at 37,963 basis points. With its share price declining by 1.80%, Okomu Oil topped the losers table, followed closely by Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, Mobil and Seplat, which saw their shares crash by 4.86%, 0.55% and 0.15% respectively. The gainers table, on the other hand, was topped by Total, Stanbic IBTC Bank, WAPCO and Union Bank of Nigeria. Sterling Bank had the most traded equity for the day, exchanging 172.630 million shares at 241.031 million naira. Some 372.239 million shares exchanged hands in 3,800 deals worth 3.179 billion naira. Well, that's been news and business. Esther will be back after this break. Do stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
My name is Alero. I am not sick. I just need you to help put your stamp on this medical report. I want to tender it at my office as a sick leave. I'll pay 10,000 naira.
Ma'am, that is impersonation. I'm not a doctor.
Oga, be like say this English no go pay. I go increase the money to 20,000 naira. I beg. You know, if I give you that 20,000, as you wide, so you know, if it still help your condition more. So you know, say you spread well.
As I spread like virus, I'll be.
You talk.
Come out! If person come your hospital, talk to make you give a fake medical report, make you go take collect sick leave. Talk and say no, not corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Glad to have you back. South Sudanese President Salva Kiir and rebels have signed a ceasefire agreement on Wednesday that will take effect in 72 hours. The agreement was confirmed by the government after Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar held face-to-face talks in the capital, Khartoum. The agreement also calls for the opening of roadways for humanitarian aid, the release of prisoners, and the pullout of military forces. This is according to Sudan's Suna news agency. Tens of thousands of people have been killed since the outbreak of South Sudan's civil war, which began in 2013. That's less than 2 years after it gained independence from Sudan. The conflict has also forced 3 million people to flee from their homes. Ethiopia's government have expressed fears that the forces behind Saturday's grenade attack at a rally attended by Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed could strike again. Now, Abiy, however, called on the public to be vigilant during public gatherings or in areas with large economic infrastructure and to inform the security services of any suspicious activities. The head of Ethiopia's Government Communication Affairs Office, Ahmed Shide, said in a statement on Wednesday that there is suspicion that these forces, whose speed was foiled, may strike again in different parts of the country. And in sports, Germany have become the third consecutive World Cup defending champions to crash out of the first round. Two late goals from South Korea saw the Germans finish bottom of Group D with just 3 points from 3 matches. Sweden and Mexico advanced from the group. Meanwhile, Germany follows Italy and Spain to become the third consecutive defending champions to leave in the first round. They are also the fourth defending champions in 5 tournaments to suffer that fate. Super Eagles have bowed out of the 2018 FIFA World Cup when Argentina's Marcos Rojo scored an 85th minute goal. Rojo scored late in the game to help the South Americans to a 2-1 victory over their African rivals. The victory means Argentina finished second in the group with 4 points ahead of Nigeria, who finished third with 3 points. Now, Nigerians have been reacting to the eviction. Take a listen to what some of them had to say.
I think the guys actually played well, actually. We just have some few lapses with the coach not making substitute at the 80th minute. And I would also say, I think in the match we actually had penalties that is meant to be awarded. It was just one. We understand the issue of the television screen to show the reverse of the match for us to understand that, okay, this is a penalty or not. But clearly we could see that that was a penalty, it was not given. Now, the other thing I would say is this. the players actually lack what they call composure on the match.
Well, to start with, Argentina really pushed us the second half. The boys didn't push hard enough. They were doing more of defense rather than attack. And Argentina was really attacking, so.
What can I say? It's a game. Someone has to win and someone has to lose. My boys played beautifully well. I'm proud of them. We all saw politics being played out there. But then, politics or no politics, it's a game. Someone has to lose, someone has to win. The Super Eagles played beautifully well, but unfortunately, it's a game. So, you know, in football, every minute counts. Like a little slip in concentration. I think that's the reason. So many shots that was lost, so many goals we were supposed to score. I think it was just concentration or probably intimidation. I don't know, but I think it was just a little slip in concentration.
Still on the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Egypt's coach Hector Cooper quit after the country's disappointing World Cup campaign. The Pharaohs, who were full of hope heading into the tournament due to the presence of star player Mohamed Salah, suffered a big blow before the first game when the Liverpool hitmen sustained a shoulder injury in the Champions League final. Now, Egypt suffered losses to Uruguay, Russia and Saudi Arabia to finish bottom of Group A, but the controversy has only increased since then. We end this with sad news of the death of Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson. Joe, who was 89 years old, passed away at 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday in Los Angeles. Entertainment media TMZ, which broke the news, said Joe had been battling health problems for some time now. He was hospitalized back in 2016 after coming down with a high fever. All that's it on News Now. Do log on to our website at www.tv360nigeria.com to get news updates and watch more of our programs. You can also watch us on Facebook at facebook.com/TV360online and on Twitter at twitter.com/TV360Nigeria. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TV360Nigeria, and we are also on Google Plus, and our handle is TV360Nigeria. Thank you very much for watching. I am Esther Vese.